Previously on Tales of Ashion, the Foo Fighters returned to Doolin victorious over the Sister Hags. On the return trip, you spotted the mischievous gnome you'd previously stolen the boat from, laying out on the beach with a bottle of booze that Camilla had given him sitting upright in the sand. Polemides, eager for a little payback, decided to teach the gnome a lesson and shattered the bottle. Yeah, and he left the contents to just sink into the sand. Upon arriving at the docks, you guys decided it would be best to just sell the man's boat rather than tie it up for him should he return. After some haggling and letting Camilla find a shady buyer, you all walked away with even more coin than you started with. Returning to the inn, you learned that Severin, the floating head that was now accompanying you, has a bit of a difficulty in understanding people's ages. And the fact that he's kind of now dead. After a few incidents, you ended up bribing a serving maid with a few coins and perhaps maybe apologizing for Severin's behavior more than anything else. You agreed to maybe just take your meals in your room, upon which you promptly closed the door once you got up there and left Severin with no way to depart. He was not happy about that. Branch has a few bruises on his head from Severin hitting him with the staff. Knowing you still had other tasks to address, though, you guys discussed your next move and agreed to head for the town of Coenimh. First thing in the morning, you are rested for the night, woke early, and departed as soon as you were able. And you managed to avoid the civil guard as they began to search for the quote-unquote roaming undead. That's probably Severin. Happy to finally be away, you encountered few issues the first couple of days on the road, only to encounter a pair of trolls that had just finished ravaging a wagon. Eager to see what was going on, you sent Severin in to investigate, only for the trolls to shatter him into pieces. Branch sat there going, "Oh God, is he dead again?" Uncertain what to do, you guys defeated the trolls, collected yourselves and the pieces of Severin's skull, which thankfully he returned to Undeath again a short while later, saying that the experience was less than pleasant. Now you guys stand on the side of the road with the dead bodies of two trolls before you and a ruined cart. The ox was the only thing that pulled the cart, is long since shredded to pieces and dead, but there are no signs of its owner. So what do you guys want to do?
Coming through the cart.
Okay, make an investigation check.
All right. 19.
Holy shit, yeah. Okay, are you going to do these good rolls all day again like you did last time?
Yeah.
It was only a 12. I have a +7.
Okay, I guess that's fair. I mean, last time it was like, hey, look, I rolled a 20 and a 1. I avoided the 1.
Yeah, last time was what, 3 nat ones I avoided with advantage,
Yeah.
and that turned into crits. That was hilarious.
I just want to prepare myself to know what kind of roles I'm getting myself into, so I can set my expectations. That's all.
Listen, that's fair. We're not quite there yet.
Not quite
I need
there yet.
advantage rolls to know.
Okay. Well, so the cart doesn't really have a whole lot. There were a couple of barrels that have been broken. One of them appeared to have some kind of wine inside of it. It has unfortunately been mostly dumped out. There is a little bit left, maybe a glass, but that's about it. There were a couple of sacks of flour and wheat that were just off. They were being delivered, or you guys think maybe taken by the person to wherever they live. Otherwise, there were basic supplies. There's candles. There's some flasks of oil for lamps. There are a couple of lamps that are broken, like lantern-style lamps with the glass on them. They're broken.
Gotcha.
But otherwise, it's mostly just a bunch of trade goods and trinkets. So if you guys need anything or want anything off the basic equipment list, you might be able to find something.
Well, I guess I'm just gonna communicate to everybody else. Like, yeah, they only had basic supplies. If anybody wants anything, like rope, rations, something like that. Personally, I'm good. Everybody else, how you guys looking?
Oh, I feel pretty good.
Perhaps
There's no
some rations wouldn't hurt.
Okay. So between everything, you can get at least 3 days worth of rations.
All right. Then that is exactly what I'm gonna get.
Sounds good.
No, Camilla, I did not see any shinies in there.
No shinies.
Well, maybe next time.
Camilla, 3 seconds later, burning the wagon to the ground for this transgression.
There's no
Okay.
shinies in here.
This is bullshit.
All right. Anything else?
Yeah. I don't really have anything
I'm
else.
good
other
wagon-wise.
Okay.
than-
Well, it's not a
moving
whole lot
towards the
more
city.
wagon-wise to find for you guys there, so you guys are good to continue. It is still, we'll say, early in the morning. Somebody go ahead and roll a survival check for me here. This is just to find a place to camp for the night.
I'm delegating this to anybody else.
I
have a
will.
+4.
I'm down to give this to Branch.
That's a 21.
Okay.
Heck yeah.
Easy enough. Branch, you guys travel for about another 4 or 5 hours. You guys pretty much just follow the road heading towards town. You guys still are about 3 or 4 days away. You're about halfway through your journey. But after it starts to get dark, remember it's spring, summertime. It's starting to get dark, so it's like 7, 8 o'clock at night. You notice that there's a path that leads off the road, and there's a small little campsite that obviously people, travelers along the road, have used. You stop by. You find a spot for there's fresh water. There's like an old well that's there, and it still has fresh water. There's places for your horses to graze. It's a nice campsite. Not a problem. You guys can go ahead and mark off a long rest.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't use any resources that fight. Well, nothing will change. Maybe that's okay.
How about that? All right, and then I want one person other than Branch or Calamity, so it'd be Camilla or Frederick. Go ahead and roll a d20 for me here.
Go for it.
Okie dokie. I'm scared. Oh my god.
There's a lot of
7.
pressure on you.
So much pressure. Okay, so on this day, you guys travel for another few hours. You guys get up early and are heading down the road. After maybe just after lunchtime, so we'll say around 1 o'clock, you guys are coming through the hills, and you're coming down off the top of a hill, and you see down below you, maybe 300 or 400 feet away, just as the hills flatten out into, it looks like there's a creek bed that's nearby that runs across the road, and you can see there appears to be 4 wagons that are like the hooded wagons. They've got the canvas over the top, and there is one wagon in the front where there's a bunch of people standing around it, and they're kind of like trying to push the wagon back and forth. It seems to be stuck.
I'm gonna look at Friedrich and just be like, yeah, out of all of this seems like your kind of thing.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go up to these people and I'm gonna be like, need any help?
So you look over, and there's you estimate there's probably about 12 to 14 people. All of them are in their middle ages, but the oldest of them, he's short, he's human. He's short, balding. He's got like pure white head, like his head is like just shiny bright. He's got like a straw hat that he pulls off his head and wipes his forehead and puts it back on, and he goes, "Hey, yeah, we'll be happy for your help, lad. Can you help us get the wagon out?" And he points, and you can see that the wagon's stuck in the mud.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over there and help him shove it out of the mud.
Okay,
I'm
go ahead
going
and
to
make
try to
a
help
strength
him
check for
do
me here.
this.
I'll give
But,
you
like-
advantage because everyone else is helping too. Well, all
I'm
the
gonna-
Yeah, well, I
pretend like
don't
I'm
need
helping.
advantage because that's a nat 20.
oh shit. It's gonna be that
Okay.
kind of day. I
Frida
see.
picks up the wagon.
I guess.
I guess.
Picks up, throws it back on the road. You're welcome.
Sorry, guys, you've been doing this wrong the whole time. Let me tell you. Okay.
Let me tell you how you handle mud.
Yeah, well, they're like, okay. And they're like, they don't really believe you at first when you say, let me tell you how to handle mud. And they're just kind of like rolling your eyes, going, we've done this before. You quite literally square your shoulders. The wagon wheel is stuck about 3 inches in the mud. You grab the edge of the cart or the wagon and just He-Man it up, Hulk style. And you just lift, and you hear this. All of you just like hear this pop from the mud of the sucking pop as the wheel comes out of the mud. And the rest of you guys look around. You guys are on your horses, and you see all of the faces of these wagon drivers and these merchants. They're just like, just their jaws just drop to the ground. And they're like, "What the fuck?" It takes a few
It's all
seconds.
in the reflexes.
So Frederick, as you're saying this, you're like, to you, you're not even breaking a sweat. You're holding this wagon up. It weighs a couple hundred pounds, like more than a couple hundred pounds. But they just kind of like look at you, and one of them goes, "Oh, sorry, we got to move the wagon," and they move the horse. But it's like for like 10 seconds, you're just holding the wagon up.
Sorry, we gotta draw the rest of the owl.
We gotta do this our part. After you're done, you kind of help them. They all you can see. You guys don't even have to roll for this. It's pretty obvious. They're all just kind of looking at each other, and there's whispering of like, "Who is this? What? He just lifted the wagon by himself. What?
Is it Matt
No, we all saw it." And just kind of that whispering, like amazement.
The name's Frederick Stonewell, and all it took for me to do that is a little bit of faith.
Everyone just kind of like looks, and the old man that you first talked to, he kind of looks you up and down. How tall are you, Frederick? You're what? Just like 5 something, 6 something?
Let me check, actually. I haven't checked in a bit.
Okay.
I am 6'2".
6'2". Okay. So this old man, he's probably maybe 5'9". He's hunched over. Like he's 5'9" standing straight. So he's probably like 5'6", hunched over. But he kind of takes his hat off and looks at you up and down, and then he goes, "Well, name's Hilton. Who are you?"
I am Frederick Stonewell, just a humble servant of Bahamut,
Well, praise be Bahamut. And he goes, "Well,"
minus the humble part.
he goes, "Well, noted. We will praise you all day, sir. Now, come, if you will not, join us, please. We were going to have a midday meal. Would you like to join us? Please, it's the least we can do."
Well, I wouldn't say no to a snack.
As you say snack, his eyes kind of, like, he kind of laughs slightly to himself and then looks at the wagon and looks at you and is like, gulps.
Damn.
Okay. So they invite you over. A couple of people are like, they move the wagon to the dry part of the ground, and they are unloading some stuff, but they are preparing for a midday meal. Do you guys want to hang out and have a meal with them?
Absolutely.
Yeah, heck yeah. Free food.
All right.
What are they serving?
Well,
Cash money, except it's food money.
cash money except it's food. So it's travel ration. So it's travel food. So it's nothing like, they're not breaking out a full course meal or anything like that. So they bring out cheese, dried cheeses, some bread. It is kind of like hardtack style bread so that it can travel. They like offer to you, and they go, we don't have any fresh bread. We're traveling merchants. It's kind of hard to do that. But they do offer like salted meats, and they do cook they cook a stew for you guys. It's a lengthy process. You're not there for a quick meal. They do tend to spend the time to cook a meal for you and respect. So you guys get, I would say, soup, mutton, Again, the dried bread and cheese. They do have some fruits and vegetables. They even break open the guy Hilton. He breaks open, or doesn't break open. He brings over like a small wooden box. It's probably about 8 inches long, about 3 inches deep. And he opens it, and inside you can see there's some sugared apples inside, or sugared like apple slices if you want.
Damn, that's
Sure,
so.
I'll take some.
That is
Not bad.
definitely a lavish meal to Frederick.
Okay.
I mean, anything that's not oatmeal is a lavish meal to Frederick.
Man,
Hey, what's
this
going
is
on,
super
folks?
lavish then. Yeah.
Apparently so.
So yeah, they sit you down and they go, oh, tell us what your story is and who are you? Where are you traveling? Where have you been?
All right.
That is classified business.
Oh, okay.
I am still going to boast about a bunch of like
That's exactly what I expected.
bullshit that I've done ish.
Boast away.
gonna
What do you
witness
tell
this.
them?
Well, you see, as a faithful servant of Bahamut, I have seen scourges throughout the lands. I
Oh.
found evil liches and dragons.
Oh gosh, that sounds terrible. You survived in one piece. I see. One of the younger.
Mine is the eye, as you may see, but with Bahamut's help, anything can be overcome.
So I'll say a pair of the younger
I'm
wagoners.
trying to
There's-
convince some Bahamut is cool, okay?
Yeah, well, so this you're gonna get to do that in a second. So there's a pair of them. It looks like a man and a woman. They might be together. They kind of like they're leaning really close to each other and whispering, and there's definitely a familiarity in that sense for them. But the girl she kind of seems to look over at you, Frederick, like she doesn't believe you. And the man kind of looks and shakes his head. And you catch his eye, and he goes, "I don't believe you. You haven't faced a dragon. There haven't been dragons around here in forever." And the older folk kind of roll their eyes, and they go, "Yeah, you don't know what you're talking about, lad. There was a dragon that flew overhead a week ago." And he's like, "That was the clouds. This man's never fought a dragon before. He's pulling our leg." If you want to try and convince him, go ahead and make I'll give you a choice. You can either do it as like a persuasion, a performance.
I am definitely gonna do a display of strength.
Okay. How are
I'm
you?
just going to bench that wagon.
Okay. So
Or
go,
at least
I've seen a
try
dragon
to.
bench this wagon. Believe me now.
you lay down under the wagon and just start lifting it, bench pressing it. Okay. You get under the wagon. Like, are you like what? How? Like, what are you saying to them as you go to do this?
You think I can't defeat a dragon? Then witness this, my strength.
Okay.
Jesus.
So make an athletics check.
Ooh.
I can't wait to roll a 1. If I do, it's gonna be the funniest shit ever.
Ready.
And that is 22.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So you roll the 22, and they kind of like look at you, and they go, kind of like, "Wow, why?" They kind of the girl kind of hits him on the shoulder, and you hear her whisper, goes, "Why would you challenge him like that? He just lifted the wagon out of the mud." And he's like, "I don't believe any fool can lift a wagon." She's like, "Shut up! He could kill us. You're not nice to him."
Oh my god.
And he just kind of grumbles and goes, "Fine." And he kind of looks to you, Frederick, and he goes, "I'm sorry. I didn't believe you." And he looks at the girl, and you can tell he's doing it just for her. And he goes, "I hope you'll forgive me." And then he looks at you, still does not believe you. But everyone else in the camp is like, this guy could snap us in two.
There is no need to apologize. I do understand that it may be difficult to accept all of the horrors of this world. But worry not, I shall handle them.
Excellent. You hear everyone else, like some of the older folk, see, now that's how you should act. And they look at him, and let me pull up his name. They call him San. He goes, that's how you should act, San. You need to be like that, Be polite. Understand that the world's a good place, and do better. And he just kind of goes, throws up his arms. He's like, I'm sick of this. And then storms off. The woman goes, San, sorry. He's like this sometimes. He gets upset whenever he feels threatened. He thinks I'm just going to run off with whoever. And she goes, I'll go get him. And then she walks away to go get him. Hilton comes back and he goes, oh, don't mind San. He's still young. He doesn't have much to look forward in life, I guess. He works with us, and he's got a beautiful woman, but apparently that's not enough sometimes for some folk. He goes, well, what other stories? We've learned of you, Frederick and Bahamut's blessing. He kind of gives you the Bahamut, blessing, like the sign for it. But he looks at the rest of you and he goes, what of you? Have you helped Master Frederick here kill dragons as well?
Absolutely.
Do you
We fought evil hags together.
We helped him collapse a basement once.
Why a basement? Were the hags in there? Another voice that somebody asks.
Oh no, that was a cave. The basement was just a really tall guy who kept trying to throw me across the room, but he couldn't.
Why was he trying to throw you across the room?
He was an asshole.
Ah, okay.
A worshipper of a foul god, we defeated.
Friedrich got a pretty cool axe out of it, though.
Oh, okay. You see Hilton kind
Turns
of...
into 2 axes.
He goes, 2? Well, I only see 1.
Yeah.
I split like the axe into 2. Like this.
And they all kind of go, ooh, wow. Hilton kind of jumps back a little bit. He goes, oh, that is magic if I've ever seen it. You are truly a powerful, powerful man. All of you are.
Once a weapon of heresy, now a weapon for the faithful.
I shall tell of your tales. Indeed, good sir.
Yes.
Yes.
We got tales tellers.
Yeah. They do sit down and like as you sit down, they ask you more questions about your adventures. They do offer to kind of like one of them, probably the youngest of them, is maybe like 16 years old. He's still definitely a kid, definitely young and innocent. You can see that look in his eyes, and he kind of looks up at you, Frederick, and goes, wow. Do you have any stories to tell us? We like to tell stories around the campfire.
I immediately start telling the most dramatic, unbelievable story about us defeating a lich.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a performance check in this case for it. I will give you advantage because they are like enthralled and believe you've defeated dragons, and they are, you've got them hooked.
Well, that's a 12.
With advantage, you rolled a 12?
Yes.
Okay.
If I didn't have advantage, it would have been a nat 1.
No, God. Okay. So you can tell, like, all of you can, you don't have to roll, but you guys can, all the rest of you can all kind of tell that they know at this point that you're telling a tall tale, but they don't seem to mind. They kind of enjoy it, and they ooh and ah at the right times for it. They may not believe it to be a true factual story, but they enjoy it for the story itself, as if they're just enjoying your guys' company for no other reason.
Do I have to bench the wagon again so they, like,
Oh my god.
believe it? I'm kidding.
So that they're intimidated.
I mean, yeah, if you're gonna intimidate them, I guess, sure, but you don't really have to. These people kind of love you guys already.
Clap! Like, oh, okay.
Hark! Hark! And I keep dancing the wagon.
You're getting ready to just like lift the wagon with one hand and then throw it across the the plain. That was my wagon. You'll get another one. Okay.
My cabbages.
Bahamut will give you one.
It's my cabbages
But
now.
maybe
Runs
you can
away.
Okay, well, so after you guys are done, you guys have the option. They said they're heading in the same direction that you are. They don't think they're going to travel much slower than you will, but you are welcome to travel with them for a little bit if you wish.
That's up to you guys. I would like that, but
This seems fun.
I'm down.
Okay. Well, then you guys travel through. You guys after it took about an hour to get everything prepped for food, and you guys telling the tales and talking. So you guys wasted maybe like 2 or 3 hours of daylight. But these merchants, they don't really seem to be in any kind of hurry. They're just kind of taking their time. You guys do know the Civil War is still going on around you guys, but of all the people, they don't seem too concerned with it. They do mention that it's made travel more difficult, but they feel pretty confident with 14, 15 of them together. They don't really get bothered too much. So you guys continue traveling. You guys travel for maybe about another 10 miles before you guys camp for the night. Again, they offer to help for food. They do in this time ask if you are going to stay with them through the night, that you help prepare food, which you guys do. Unless you guys want to be assholes and say, fuck you, we're just going to take your food. Which you can do. It's up to you.
no, I'm going to help.
Calamities would help.
Okay, yeah. So you guys, help prepare, cut fruits or vegetables up, help with the stew, kind of tend to the animals. Nothing really, you don't really be like, hey, you have to go and do crazy things.
I'm going to make oatmeal.
You want to make oatmeal? They have oatmeal
Yes.
if you want it. Yes.
I'm
Just,
going to
like,
make the
why?
best goddamn oatmeal they've ever had.
Are you gonna put like brown sugar in it too?
No, it's just going to be
It's just
blessed
plain?
with Bahamut.
Oh,
That means plain.
Bahamut's blessed oatmeal. Yeah. Okay, I want
But
you. Actually,
it's
I'm gonna
nothing more than just me doing some spiritual signs and whatnot.
roll. Okay.
It's like very watery and plain.
Okay, so go ahead and roll a perception check for me here.
That is a 23.
Damn, you rolled higher than he did by a long shot.
It's
So
just like, they hate it.
So Hilton, like everyone else is like, sure, this is great. They're like, it's just oatmeal. But Hilton kind of walks up to you and he goes, yes, lad, and he takes a bite and he goes, this is the best oatmeal I've ever had. Blessing be Bahamut. And you kind of just like, you catch it, Frederick. Like he is totally lying through his teeth to you, but he's just trying to be polite about it.
I see that he's lying, and I just do even more like gestures to try and like bless the oatmeal.
How do you go about doing that?
I am like picking up my whole like holy tome, opening it, and just like starting to chant like random segments of it.
Okay.
I'm like, and then Bahamut said, love thy neighbor.
Okay. Go ahead and make a actually I'll give it to you with that perception check. You don't have to really higher. So you have vomited on your book more than once. And you can see as you start reading through it and pulling up the passages and reading through
my
it, you
God.
can see that his nose starts to wrinkle And you realize the book smells pretty bad of vomit. And you start to kind of lean closer and closer, like saying this louder. And there is like flecks of vomit, still like dried vomit, that just are in the book. And as you turn the pages, it starts falling into his oatmeal. And he just kind of like looks at it and then hands you the bowl. I'm good.
God, what have you done?
He says, I can see there is very much blessing, but this is too much for me. Forgive me, sir.
My apologies.
No, he goes, no, it's not your fault. It's entirely my fault. I'm just not as blessed by Bahamut as you are, clearly, and
I leave.
I am not worthy enough.
I leave without saying a word. I throw away the vomit oatmeal, and I go and like shake the vomit off the tome.
Okay. It's not too hard. Your tome is clean after that, so you're not going to make it a big deal. But he's just like, kind of looks at the rest of his group and walks back over and just shrugs like, did I say something wrong? Kind of what? What about
Frederick
the rest of you?
is in deep sorrow.
What do the rest of you want to do, if anything?
I'm
Not
hoping
just nom
with
on
the
a web.
stew.
But not on that oatmeal. I know that oatmeal sucks.
I'm actually gonna steal the oatmeal. It looks really good to
Okay.
Branch. He hasn't had oatmeal in a while.
All right. Yeah, I won't even have you make a sleight of hand check. Like, you just swipe it. No problem. Camilla, I think you said you wanted to do something too, and I didn't hear what you said.
I was gonna help with the stew,
Okay. Excellent.
and I was definitely gonna be eating it while I was helping.
Okay. So after about 10 minutes of you stirring the stew and helping, the woman helping you, she kind of walks back up to you and looks in the pot and she goes, huh. And then walks away. And then about 10 minutes later comes back and she goes, that's not right. And she turns around and comes back, like disappears, like walks over to the corner, like she's cutting up vegetables and roots, and she kind of comes over and pours them in, and she looks, I could have sworn we had more soup than that. Do we have more, right? And she kind of looks at you, very confused.
I think we might need to turn the fire down. It might be evaporating a bit too quickly.
Okay, well, I'll...
As I like wipe my face.
I want to see if she catches that. Let's roll. She sees you wipe her face, but I want to see if she understands what it means. Nope, she rolled a 1. She goes, oh, that's a good idea. We should, less wood. Yeah. We'll make sure we don't put any more. She kind of takes the tripod for the cauldron and moves it slightly out of the fire. And she puts her finger in and licks. Goes, yeah, okay, it'll get a little cooler, a little better. She goes, I'm gonna get some more water, and we'll put more water in it to make it so more in there. She walks away, and about 2 minutes later comes back with a water skin and slowly starts pouring water into it to change the soup levels. She's like, okay, that feels much better, much better.
Heck yeah. I'm gonna have like a bowl that I set aside with a bigger portion.
Okay.
After I witness the oatmeal fiasco.
Easy enough. Do you keep like sipping on the soup and eating it while it's simmering? Did you want to keep eating it while it's cooking?
Right. Hello?
Did we lose her? Camilla.
I was being summoned for
Oh,
grocery order.
that's okay. I was just asking, did you want to keep eating it while it's cooking?
No, I think I've had enough.
Yeah, no,
I will-
okay.
I will keep adding extra to the bowl in case anyone wants more, aka Friedrich or Hilton after the oatmeal incident.
Okay. You Perfect. All right. So, unless you want to do anything else specific, you guys can sit down and have a meal.
Yeah, during all this, nothing in particular. I would have just found somebody who looked like they needed a little bit of assistance, chop some vegetables or something.
Okay. Yeah, so they tend to the animals. Mostly are horses that are pulling the wagon. So they, untie them, take the barding out, set them off to graze off to the side. All the horses are pretty docile, so they don't even tie up the horses. They just be like, yeah, they'll graze and they'll come back. We've had these horses for years; they'll be fine. So you can kind of help with that. I would say at one point you do see San, the man that was kind of upset with Frederick. He smiles at you and says, "Oh, sorry I was upset. I don't like your friend very much, especially when people start touting religion." But he's like, I believe him. I don't want to admit it, but I'm sure he's killed a dragon or so." And then kind of...
Oh, is she talking to me?
Yeah, he's talking to you.
I'm gonna look him dead in the face and be like, "Oh, that was all bullshit."
And he goes, "I
There's
knew
no
it!
way any of
God
that's
damn
true."
it! God damn it!" And he storms off and he goes, "I knew it! I knew it!" Yeah. You can see he goes over to the girl he's with and starts telling her, and she's just like shaking her head, doesn't believe him. No, and he points over to you. He's like, you can tell he's like going, "He told me it was a lie."
If she looks over at me, I'm going to give her a thumbs up.
Okay, you give her the thumbs up, and she kind of goes, this look of confusion on her face for a moment, and then she kind of looks at him and just nods slowly, like, "Okay, maybe you're right." And that's kind of like they wander off after a moment.
He wanted to be right so much.
She did. She wanted Frederick to be the hero. To be the hero. All right. So
I
then,
am such a hero.
you are the hero of heroes. So that night, though, before you guys lay down for rest, everybody's kind of setting up their small tents, or not really tents so much as they are just kind of bedrolls with like, it's kind of like a piece of cloth or fabric canvas that's just put in a tent shape to just keep the if there's any kind of water or anything like that out of their faces. But as they're
Light
setting
part.
that up, everyone kind of gathers back around the campfire. And the youngest one in the camp, he kind of looks at Hilton and he goes, "It's story time, right?" And Hilton goes, "Yes, I guess it is. It is late enough. The stars are out. Please, everyone sit. We'll have a story." And he looks to the four of you and he goes, "You are our guest this evening. What story would you like to hear? Perhaps the legend of Old Man Whiskers and the Giant's Gold, or the ballad of Sir Reginald the Ridiculous? Those are always favorites here."
I would
don't
like
mention
to
a
hear
thing.
them all.
Well, unfortunately, sir, we do have to get up early, and these old bones, I only have one story in me this day.
How about
Dang
two?
it.
Branch is trying for two. Camilla, what did you want to say to him?
I'm all for the story about the giant's gold.
The giant's gold. Okay, it's got shiny gold in it. Yeah. Palamies, do you have a preference?
Seeing that golden sparkle in Camille's eye, just be like, "Well, I guess the gold one."
The gold one. He goes, "It's a very good story. Yes." So he waits for everyone to kind of sit down, and he stands up and stretches, and he stands up to his full height, and you can see his bones, like you hear his body creak and ache. And everyone kind of like cringes, like, he's old. God, that's gotta hurt. And he kind of goes, oh yes.
That's like, ew, old.
Yeah, everyone's like, "Oh, we don't want to be old like that."
Ugh,
But he kind of,
kill me.
yeah, sits down. Like, he doesn't really sit down. He kind of like falls down into the log that he's pulled off to the side. And he goes, feels good to stretch a little bit after a hard day's work in the sun. And one of them goes, "You didn't do any work. The horses did all the work." And he goes, "Yeah, but leading you rabble is enough work for an old man like me. Now sit down and let me tell my story." He kind of waits for everyone to hush. And the little kid goes, well, when are we? Come on! He's like, I'm trying to remember it all. Gosh, this brain doesn't work as well as it used to, young man. You'll get there one day. And the kid kind of rolls his eyes like, oh, whatever. And he looks over to you, Plamines, the little kid does, and he goes, he does this every night. You'd think he'd remember his own stories at this point. The old man kind of goes,
It's part of being a good storyteller.
He goes, exactly.
Drama.
Yes, see, this man knows what it's like. You know, good stories come with time, and you must wait for them to happen. The kid goes, oh, fine. Kind of just leans forward with one hand on it, like his elbow or his chin in his hand, like pouting almost. About a minute or two goes by, and everyone finally calms down, hushes. And Hilton kind of clears his throat. All right. For tonight, we are talking of the legend of the old man, Whiskers, and the giant's gold. And he looks at everyone in there and he goes, long ago, deep in the Trist Mountains, far to the north of here, there once lived a cantankerous old gnome by the name of Old Man Whiskers. Legends had it that he possessed a beard so long and tangled that it had a life of its own, and it whispered secrets to him in the dead of night. One fateful day, Old Man Whiskers stumbled upon a map etched on the back of an ancient turtle shell, leading to a fabled hoard of a long dead giant king. He didn't know how the shell had gotten so far from the ocean, but he was eager for an adventure. And so Old Man Whiskers, along with his most trusty pet, a dire ferret named Pickles, and he decided to embark on this quest to find the giant's gold. Along the way, they faced many trials and tribulations, from battling fierce wyverns to outsmarting even cunning goblins. Finally, after many, many moons of adventuring, they reached the ancient depths of the mountain, where, at its heart, the giant's treasure lay hidden. But as they approached the glittering mound of gold, they were confronted by none other than the vengeful spirit of the giant king himself, risen from the dead to protect his riches. It was a battle for the ages. Old Man Whiskers and his dire ferret Pickles fought valiantly against the spectral giant, wielding magic and wit in equal measures. In the end, though, it was none other than Pickles, the dire ferret itself, who delivered the final blow, sinking razor-sharp teeth into the giant's ankle, and only causing him to stumble and fall into a bottomless chasm. With the ghostly giant defeated, Old Man Whiskers, a little older than he had been before, and Pickles claimed the treasure as their own, and returned to their village as heroes, as they should have been. And though many doubted the tale the gnome spun, thinking it was nothing but a tale from his wild whiskers of a beard, there was none that could deny the mountain of gold that now adorned Old Man Whiskers' humble abode. And everyone kind of like listens, and the kid goes, and? He goes, and that's the story. What do you want? What about the gold? And the old man kind of goes, I just told you. Were you not listening? But what did he buy? The old man throws up his arms and he goes, can't tell these stories to anyone anymore. There's always questions. It's a story, young man. It's a story. And he kind of just folds his arm grumpily. And the kid goes, but if he got all the gold, what did he buy? And everyone just kind of all the rest of the camp just kind of looks at him and just roll their eyes. And they go, it's a story, kid. Just let it be. And they just kind of chit chat after that.
Another!
You gonna try and convince him to tell another?
Yes.
Does everyone
Absolutely.
agree? Is everyone
I'm gonna
gonna
make
try?
puppy eyes.
I mean, I'll allow it, but I'm not gonna pressure it.
Well, well, if you guys want another story, you just need to try and convince him. Be a persuasion check by whoever wants to try and persuade him to tell another.
I'll be like, pretty please.
And I'll say with the cherry on top.
Okay, if you're adding a cherry on top, I guess roll a persuasion check, Branch. See if you can persuade this mad man to tell another mad lad story.
Well, that's a natural one. So I'm not sure.
I guess his answer is sorry, no, not tonight. He says, if you guys wish to stay with us tomorrow, I'll be happy to tell you the other story.
Oh.
I mean, I think it sounds worth it.
Yeah.
Worth it? Okay. Well, you guys can crash for the night. You take another long rest if you guys need to.
Hell
You
yeah.
probably didn't have to, but when you guys rest and relax, you can spend some time with the merchants. But while you guys are, the next morning, you guys do get up early and leave. While you guys are on the road with the merchants, if you guys opt to stay with them, you can. But I do want somebody other than Camilla to roll a d20 for me here.
I can go for it.
Okie dokie.
Oh, a 1.
1. All right. I need you to roll a d6 for me.
All right. 4.
4. Okay. Okay. As you guys are traveling down the road, about mid-afternoon, you guys are chit-chatting with the merchants, and you're having a relatively good old time for it. I'm going to say that at one point during this day, Severin came out of the bag, and you kind of like, everyone kind of freaks out for a moment, and you guys introduce him, and he's kind of walks or like flies around making jokes. And at first everyone's kind of freaking out, but by the time it gets to this point in the afternoon, people are kind of just laughing at him as he zigzags over them, and just kind of causes a nuisance. They kind of find it more amusing than anything else. But while you're on the road, you guys come to come to a looks like a bend in the road. There are rocks and boulders around, and the road kind of passes in between these two rock outcroppings. They're spaced out pretty wide, maybe about 50, 60 feet. And the road goes right in between them. But in the middle of the road, you do see that there is a wagon that looks to have lost a wheel, and it's just kind of sitting there blocking the road. It is about 100 feet away.
Let's go check it out.
All right, who's gonna go? Actually, here, let me pull it up. I will put the map up for you guys.
Ooh.
Oh shit!
Time.
The map.
On the map.
Pull the lever, Kronk.
Wrong lever. Ooh, Camilla's already connected. Look at that.
Oh shit!
Camilla's like, I got this, guys. Don't worry.
Watch out!
All right, let me grab Severin. You guys will be in the bottom left. It's like here.
right.
I
So
don't
do
think
we?
the tormented one is there.
Okay. I was like, well, Camilla leaves.
What?
Camilla's fucking gone.
Guys, I don't think we're ready for this.
We're gonna delete that one. I didn't put that one there. I don't know who did, but dang. He's looking to die today or something? Jeez. All right, I'm just gonna put it as a draft horse. The wagon is here where the draft horse is. I'm gonna change the name, but it's wagon. So that's where the wagon is, up ahead for you guys there. It is blocking the road. The merchants are like, oh, well, this sucks. We can, a couple of them hop off the wagons to go and inspect. But you guys say you guys take care of it, so you guys wander off ahead. So, Frederick, you're going first, it looks like. You're approaching first?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and make a perception check for me here.
All right. 18.
Okay. Oh, hold on half a second. Let me add Severin to this list. He needs to be on the list. He's important too. He's a real mage. All right, so you got a 17?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, no. I got an 18.
18. Oh, one up. Okay. Okay. Well, these people are not very good at what they're doing. I'll tell you that much. They all rolled really, really low. An aspect of Bahamut appears out of nowhere and kills everything. Destroys the world.
What?
What? Bahamut. Psh, Frederick. I saw that. Okay. Well, so Frederick.
We found him out.
I found him out. Who'd have thunk? So while you're kind of moving forward, you look around and are like, okay, this doesn't sit right. And you see that there are definitely people, there's several, just kind of camping out, hiding in the bushes. Be over here. They look like they're trying to maybe be sneaky, but they're not doing a very good job of it. They're kind of in the bushes, and it's kind of like being ambushed by Robin Hood if Robin Hood was really bad at ambushing people. Like they're just like,
Gotcha.
You can't see us, and you're like, I can totally see you standing there. I'm not really here, kind of moment. And they're just kind of like, shh, they're getting closer. Oh no, shh. No, they're gonna get closer. They're gonna get to the wagon. Shh! Don't say anything. Oh, we know. Shh! Like, it's pretty obvious. They didn't roll higher than a 6 on their stealth.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna yell out, "Come out, ye scoundrels, or face my wrath!"
There's nobody here! You hear a voice shout from the back.
Wait. From like
You want one of these people. No, from one of the people in the like one of the bandits that's trying to ambush you. One of them yells that. You hear somebody else go, "Ow!" They get slapped.
You know, I heard that. So are you going to it, sir, or are you just gonna face my wrath?
And you hear some muttering. And finally one of them goes, "All right, boys, you screwed this up already. Everybody out. And so out of them, from the bushes, you see looks maybe about 8 or 9 bandits, like looking people. They're dressed really ruggedly, like they look like bows, scimitars, like they've seen better days, and it's pretty obvious that they are just here to try and ambush people and make money. Let's see. Oh, I am 1 short. Or 2 short. They do look rough and tumble, but I mean, you've dealt with worse before. But they kind of just like get out and they go, "Oh, if you're gonna pass through our lands, you have to pay the toll." And the bandit guy in the front kind of leads, steps forward. He's got the bandana on his head. It's bright red, and he looks at you and he goes, "Passing through my road, you've got to pay the toll. It's 2 gold for each of you, and 5 gold for the wagons each."
Are you really sure you want to do this?
He kind of looks back over his neck.
And just be like,
Like,
I'm just
at
gonna
this
start
point,
laughing.
all I'm hearing is, "Oh God, this bandana makes me look ugly. Please smash my head in."
You hear a couple of the men snort laughing, and the guy with the bandana looks back and he goes,
I'm still just laughing in his face.
and he goes, the bandit captain kind of folds his arm and he goes, "Well, last time I checked, there's more of us than there are of you."
You know how many times that's been true in my life?
No.
Well, I like
on.
those odds. Yeah.
And he goes, "Well, I do too." And you see the man, I'll put him, he was forward. He goes, "Go ahead and make a perception check for me, Frederick."
I was also gonna call out towards this man and be like, "Hey, do you guys want to do this? Cause like, you don't gotta do it. You don't have to stay with him. He can die by himself."
Okay, so they all kind of like shift uneasily, but they don't seem to move, like run away or anything like that. But Frederick,
Alright.
the bandit that walks up to the captain, he kind of goes, "Hey, boss man, there are a lot of them. What if the merchants fight back? This is kind of, we weren't expecting, merchant caravan with guards. We didn't talk about that." And he's like, shut up, Thal. I said we're doing this." But sir, no, fuck you, we're doing this." And he turns back to you, Frederick, and he goes, he draws his sword and he looks at you and he goes, "This is your only warning. Give over the money that I've said. 2 gold for each of you and 5 for the wagons, or meet your death by the end of my sword."
I want to try and shoot the sword out of his hand.
I'm gonna pull out my
Okay.
glowy rapier and just be like, "You still don't gotta do this."
Okay. Camilla, go ahead and take your shot.
I'm aiming more for the sword, less his hand.
Okay.
25 to hit.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Okay. So roll your damage normally.
Oh my god. 5.
Okay. Let's see. I will roll. What has he got? Okay. So I'm gonna roll a d4. Okay. So I was gonna add. He has a strength of 2. Strength modifier of 2. So I was gonna add the d4 to it and see if he beats the 5, and he does not. So Camilla, you shoot the scimitar out of his hand. He's like pulls it up, like draws it, points it at you guys, kind of does a flourish, and in the middle of the flourish, the arrow hits it and he goes ting, and it flies back like 3 feet. Everyone just kind of goes, "What the fuck?" They kind of look over at you, Camilla, and be like, "Did you just shoot the arrow or the freak?"
I'm also going to turn around and be looking. Like, whoa, where'd that come from?
Okay. They're like, "What?"
Well, that's crazy.
So the guy that was standing next to him goes, "Boss, this is not worth it. There will be other people. We can deal with this later." And the captain guy kind of looks at his hand and he's like, "What the fuck just happened?"
Frederick just laughs. I fought crabs fiercer than you.
He goes, crabs? What kind of sick diseases do you have?
I'm just gonna call out a lot. It makes him crazy.
Yeah, they kind of look at each other like he is kind of crazy. So then there's another guy that kind of walks out. He's been kind of up near the ledge. He kind of walks down a little bit, and you see that he's dressed in more of like the familiar wizarding robes. And he looks over at the five of you, including Severin, and he looks at the captain and he goes, "Are you sure this is a good idea, sir?" He's like, "I might be able to handle them, but they seem to be able to handle themselves." The captain kind of goes, kind of looks back and forth between him and his men and you guys. And let's see the ultimate roll. I'm going to have him do a wisdom roll for it.
Am I wrong for kind of hoping he
Yeah.
succeeds?
He rolled a 1. So he just kind of looks at you guys, looks back at his sword, which is like 3 or 4 feet behind him, swallows, and then goes, "Fine, you may pass." And everyone kind of like steps away. But as you guys go to walk past, he does tell you you have to go around the wagon that's in the road.
What?
So you guys have to go this way. He doesn't tell you why. He just says that's the road. That way you can go. You have to go around his wagon. And everyone kind of backs up and gives you guys a wide berth.
Well, I guess somebody will probably take care of them at some point.
Maybe.
Well, the fuck, we're going through the woods. We're going through that road.
Alright, I'm glad we're at the same time. It's just like, what? I'm not going out of my way for this. What do you mean going through the trees?
He says, "Well, we can't move the wagon."
The Frederick can. He can lift up a wagon.
Frederick, make an insight check. Or actually, no, not Frederick. Palamides, make an insight check.
Ooh. I'm famously good at these. Watch yourselves, everybody. 13.
You're not sure exactly what is up, but there is definitely something up about the wagon. When you start talking about people picking it up, the bandit captain, like, he gets a light to his eyes. It's almost like a greedy light of like, yes, do it.
I'm just gonna turn around to everybody else. So do we want to leave them here, or do we want to like take them out so they don't attack other merchant groups? What are we thinking?
Look, what I see as they put the fucking wagon in the road, they could put it out themselves.
And I yell that, so they definitely hear it.
I mean, they hear you, but they don't move or do anything. They just kind of move off.
I ask the rest of the caravan as well and be like, so do you guys think we should just leave them here, or do you think we should make sure they're not a problem for other merchants?
I mean, Hilton and the rest are kind of like, they just shrug a little bit and they go, well, as long as they don't hurt anybody. I mean,
they might in the future. They were gonna try to hurt us.
Hilton kind of shrugs and looks at you and he goes, well, honestly, I've met worse, lad. These men are just trying to make a living. Well, exuberant in prices and, highway robbery, if you know what I mean, for where we are. But I mean, it is tough times.
And can Branch do something real quick?
Yeah, what do you want to do, Branch?
Oh, hell yeah.
Branch is going to cast feline agility.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then his bonus action, he's gonna cast Zephyr Strike.
Oh my god.
Oh, okay.
Zooming.
Zoom,
And
zoom.
he's going to run over to the bandit captain
Okay.
and grapple him.
Oh, shit. Okay. Make an attack.
Oh. Oh boy.
Make a grapple check.
Are
Or
we
make an
using
attack.
hostages now?
Oh my god.
That's a 21.
21?
Dang.
I
Jesus.
don't know if that's gonna work. Of course, you hit.
Damn it.
So you have to make a grapple check on him specifically. So for the
Okay.
grapple condition to do that, you need to roll. Be this one, not the other one. Okay, so you need to roll be a strength check. So just roll a d20
Okay.
and add your strength to it. So to grapple, yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, so I think I'm reading this wrong. Hold on one second. No, you don't have to roll. So I'm reading. You hit them. You grapple him. So you are holding on to him.
Oh, okay.
If he wants
Oh,
to
thank
escape,
God.
he has to make the roll to get out, which is what it is.
Gotcha. Okay.
Mm.
So we can ignore that nat one then?
You can. Yeah, so the save for it is going to be 8 plus your strength modifier plus your proficiency bonus. So in this case, his escape for you to get away from your grapple is going to be like 12. That's what he has to beat.
Okay.
You grapple him, and what do you say or do? Everyone else is kind of like, what the fuck? You just zap through everything, Flash style.
I'm gonna yell to everyone, especially into the captain's ear. I think you need to pay our travel toll to allow us to go through the road.
Oh, Branch, is that? I'm just gonna like the voice of reason. Just calling out back like, I don't think that's really necessary.
No, it's necessary.
Okay, so the captain's
And we
gonna
should
like
fine them for parking in the road.
I'm gonna say that's what you tell him. Parking in the road. He is gonna try vainly, hopefully, to try and break the grapple. Ooh, he did roll really high. He rolled a 19.
That makes
Oh
sense.
shit.
So he manages to twist out of the grapple, but he looks at you and he goes, "We're not paying you shit."
Oh, can we at least move the wagon? Like,
No,
You're paying us now, you're all dying.
I'm not paying you anything.
See,
Go
Doesn't
around.
feel so good now,
Ah.
does it?
Branch, there's
I
there's
don't
no
want to
need
go
for
around.
violence.
Look at them, Frederick. That's the only need.
We don't
If
need
we don't kill them
gold.
now, they're going to keep
I don't
causing
think we need
problems
to
for the rest
kill
of the
them.
innocent people that come here. I think we do.
Somebody goes, "Kill us?
Yeah.
What did we do to you?
No,
We didn't
no,
do
no,
anything
no,
to you."
no. I understand the want to teach them a lesson, but maybe we don't kill them.
Matt, look. Here. Hark, hark. So, you see, lads, I'm willing to not make a big deal out of this. But you do need to swear one thing. And it's that you'll get off this road.
We are
And to
off the road.
show your... Look, what I mean is... make a living another way. And to show your faith in this promise, you should move that fucking wagon.
One of them finally goes, "We can't."
What do you mean you can't? Look how many of you there are.
Somebody yells, "It's wired, you idiot, with explosives! We can't move it!" And then everyone kind of glares at the one person that said that, and they all go, "Shut up."
So, are you dumb or are you stupid?
None of those?
Wrong answer!
Wrong answer? Oh god, what is happening? What is happening?
I don't know.
Nothing. It's just wrong answer, period.
Okay.
You are stupid!
There is a lot of confusion going on with these bandits right now. They're kind of like, wait, what
Anyways,
is
There's a lot of
going-
confusion going on with
Any of you
plans,
move, I'm burning up that wagon.
I'm starting
So
to realize
stay where you are.
why
And
you
I don't
guys are
care
bandits.
about you, Branch.
So what are you gonna do, Branch, now that Frederick's like, "You're all stupid. You're wrong answer."
Um, I should probably take this witch's staff out of my inventory, right? Because technically
Oh, yeah, 'cause
Severin's
Oh,
using
yeah,
it.
Severin has
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
By the way, Branch, just player to player, I am not planning on killing you. I am not gonna make the wagon explode. I'm pretty much bluffing.
Okay, actually, I'm gonna try and grapple him again.
Okay, make an attack.
What is with this not ones the whole?
That is brutal.
Yikes.
So can we like agree that is just a very wholesome hug?
We'll go ahead and roll another d20 for me.
You just like start rubbing his arm.
Like, hey,
This was a nat 20. Oh, awesome.
Okay. So you do not rub his arms seductively at all,
Ah.
or any other
Oh.
part of his body in this case.
Damn it.
You kind of step forward to try and grapple him, and he kind of just shoves you off, and he goes, "Get off of me! What the fuck? You already have your answer. Go around."
Now are you sure you want us to go around?
Are you gonna deal with the wagon then?
I think it's your job. You're the one who made the fucking mess.
You're the one we're telling to go around. God.
And you're the one standing in the middle of the road like a fucking jackass. So get that wagon out of here.
It's missing a goddamn wheel! The bandit captain just throws up his arms and he's like, "This is the worst day ever!"
You're the worst
Okay.
thing ever.
Disarm the explosives
Okay,
so that we don't blow anybody up. Now we're in the future.
Branch yells at everyone. I was like, "Everyone, shut up!" and he pulls out his torch and lights it.
Okay.
Oh god.
The bandits, as soon as they see you light the torch, flee. They're like, "Fuck!"
Branch launches.
I said don't move or I burn up the cut.
Oh my god.
Branch is throwing it. They're running.
I'm throwing the torch at the wagon,
Okay.
and I'm booking it.
Oh my god.
Okay. Go ahead and make. I want to have you make a dexterity check.
Oh God.
Well, actually, make it an acrobatics check for me here.
Alrighty.
And these were Brent's
It's a
last
20.
words.
Not a nat 20, but.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So you like light the torch. Branches. Frederick's like, if you move, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you all. And they're like, they see you light the torch and they go, fuck, run! And they all start running away. You turn, throw the torch, and it's this slow motion of you just throwing it towards the wagon, and turn, and you start running back towards the group. You get about 3 steps, and you hear the torch hit the top of the wagon. It goes boom, 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 and then boom. There's this hollow explosion, and I need you to make a dexterity saving throw for me here.
Alrighty. Is another 20, not natural.
Okay, you perfectly
Hell
fine.
yeah.
You had to beat a 12 at that distance. You get to about here, and then you feel those shockwave hit you, and you stumble a little bit as there is now a crater about 10 feet wide, and the wagon is gone, just demolished.
Well, I think that could have gone a little better.
Branch, what the fuck, you idiot!
Well, now the wagon's cleared. It's not gonna hurt nobody, and we can go on our merry way.
You know, he's got a point. It's not gonna blow anybody up now.
And those bandits aren't using it anymore.
That's true, and they seem to have scattered.
Oh, yeah. They're still running at this point. Several of the bandits are still running away. A lot of them have ducked behind cover and have been like, what the fuck? These people are crazy.
They're nuts.
Pretty much.
Y'all better keep running or you'll be sorry.
All right. They keep
That's
running.
all I yell out. Alright. Well, I guess the path is all cleared up.
Severin kind of just looks over at Camilla and is like, I could do better. That was an okay explosion. And it just kind of floats away.
Pretty mid, honestly.
Maybe
Okay.
next time.
Well, I didn't see you do nothing, Severin, so shut the fuck up.
His hand, like
Gross.
the wand, the staff like flies up in the air for half a second, and you just look back at him, and he's flipping you off.
I just like get my tongue out and like do a really taunting grimace.
So the bandit captain at the moment, he's just kind of sitting in the dirt, just like trying to get up and brush himself off, and he's like, "Fucking crazy bastards! Like blew up the wagon. What the fuck is wrong with these people?"
So what did we learn about playing with explosives, everybody?
It's awesome.
I wasn't talking to you,
Really
Branch.
cool.
I was asking the bandits.
Well, at the moment, there's only like the wizard and the captain are the only two kind of that you would
That's
see
okay.
around.
I'll pose the question to them.
They kind of just the wizard-looking guy just kind of shrugs. I told him not to
That's
do it.
right. It's dangerous. Somebody might run up to it and throw a match at it, and then where are you?
Looting the
In
dead
the
bodies,
dirt.
which was the intention, the captain says. Now piss off already, okay? You ruined
See,
my
I
day.
told you they planned on killing
Wait a
people.
minute.
I'm
Hold
not
on.
crazy.
Well, he was planning on murdering people?
I see.
Frederick. I don't know if that's okay.
Yeah, you were planning on murdering innocent people. You rapscallion.
That's some pretty rapscallious behavior, I gotta say.
He just looks at you and he looks like he's sitting on the ground. He doesn't have his rapier. He doesn't have any weapons. He just says, "No one's innocent. If you knew anything about this war, you'd know that to be the truth. You're naive to think otherwise."
guy's
Heresy
really
is
butthurt
as
about civilians,
potent
huh,
as any
Bridget?
weapon. Shut the fuck up. I'm
Wait,
just
so if
gonna
no one's
run up
innocent,
to
why
him
don't
and
I
I'm
just
just
like
gonna
stab
kick
you
him.
right here? Why don't we just finish this? Because if no one's innocent, you're also not innocent. Clearly, from the bombs and all that.
He just kind of stands and brushes like the dirt off
Not a
his
great
pants.
argument.
And he says, "Yeah, you just proved my point." And he just turns and starts to walk away.
Oh,
Did I though? Because I haven't. I don't think you're grasping how these things work.
I mean, what do you want to do?
Posing hypothetical questions and thought. I'm trying to make you see. And your worldview will inevitably lead to somebody murdering you.
He doesn't say anything. He just keeps walking. The wizard just kind of starts to follow
sounding
behind him.
less like a nerd. Maybe that would be more persuading.
I mean, I could also just shoot him in the arm, and that would be pretty persuasive, Camilla, but you know.
that's it. Keep running. Heretic.
Coward.
Unless you're gonna do anything, they just keep walking. They keep walking north.
I just keep yelling like, Bahamut smite you!
Okay, they walk finally off into the forest and disappear.
Jesus. So, this encounter in a nutshell was just us flipping each other off. Awesome.
It was eventually. He
Pretty
blew away.
much.
Maybe he'll kill somebody eventually, but you know, we're not the law.
I mean, it could have been combat, but you opted to tell them, persuade them not to do anything, and they rolled really low.
Yeah.
Well, what do you guys want to do? There's a small crater where the wagon was.
Somehow
I want to go investigate the crater.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead and roll an investigation.
Oh, that's a 6. Hell yeah.
Fuck you.
It's very blackened dirt.
Very good.
Something went
What
boom.
if I investigate the crater?
Go for it. Roll an investigation.
What if I get 11?
I'd say make an Arcana check for me here real quick.
What if I got a 19?
Damn, I was gonna say you had to beat an 18 because it's gonna be a high roll, and you did. So you're definitely looking at it like, okay, something went boom, for sure. And you're not too familiar with explosives. Like it's not really a common thing. Like it's usually if there's some kind of explosion, it's magical, and that's kind of what kind of sparks your interest. Is you would think maybe something magical is related, and you actually don't find any like magical residue so much, and you actually find what look to be like powdered crystal of various colors. There's some red and there's some yellow crystal powder that you kind of see around.
Crystal meth.
No, it's not crystal meth, but like you kind of rub your finger through one of them, and then like on each finger you have some of the red and the yellow, and you kind of merge them together, or like kind of rub your fingers together, and they get warm. And they start to spark a little bit, but then after a few seconds, it goes away. There's no harm to you.
Okay.
I will say this on the 19. You can cast spells, right? Your spell?
No,
No?
I don't have any spellcasts.
Okay, then in this case, you wouldn't know.
Huh. Weird. Seems like they used powdered colored crystals to blow up the wagon. I guess that's interesting.
Hilton kind of comes up after a few minutes and he goes, well, he takes his hat off his head. That was an interesting adventure.
Yeah, could have gone better. But
Yeah.
we're all right.
Oh, I'm definitely glad we found you. He looks over at Branch and he goes, do Your friend is a little extreme, though. And
Fred is an idiot.
Wow.
Just
I
correct him
think
that way.
everybody eyeballing Friedrich could have handled that a little bit better.
well, I wasn't talking about Frederick.
Shut
He's
fuck up,
he looks to you,
Calamities.
he's talking to you, Calamities. He goes, I wasn't talking about Frederick. I was talking about Branch. He threw a torch at that thing. That's a little crazy. He goes,
Wow.
like lowers his voice, and he goes, "Are you sure Frederick's all right in the head, though?"
I really don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, then he kind of stands up as straight as he can. He'll hunch back, but he looks at you and he goes, "Well, my friend, you keep strange company, but I would be sure to keep an eye on them if I were you, if you know what I mean." And he kind of
Yes,
turns
yes.
around and walks back to his wagon and hops on up, snaps the reins, and starts down the road again. You guys gonna do anything? I mean, if not, they're just gonna slowly amble by.
They called me crazy.
Crazy?
You didn't even
I'm
hear
the only
him.
one sane enough.
I was crazy once.
I knew somebody was going to say it. You motherfuckers.
And it wasn't you.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna follow the merchants, I guess.
Okay. Well, go ahead and somebody, doesn't matter who, go ahead and roll a survival check for me here.
Branch, I have so much faith in you.
I don't have any faith in myself, but I'll
Okay,
I'll
then
roll
I can
for
do
you.
it.
Oh my! That's a 7.
Aww. Okay. So you guys find what you assume, Branch. You're like, this is a great campsite. And they're like, the merchants are like, I don't know, this isn't that great. I don't remember stopping here. We should keep going. But you persuade them to stay there for the night. And you find that there is no fresh water nearby, and that the ground is rocky and miserable to be sleeping on. But as
Heck yeah.
you guys prepare for the end of the night, Hilton does say, hey, are you interested in hearing the ballad of Sir Reginald the Ridiculous?
Yes.
Yes!
Story time. All right. So
Please, good sir, indulge us.
indulge you. All right, so he does the same kind of ritual he did the night before. You know, stands up and stretches. And everyone kind of cringes. You know, kind of like you get the impression this is a daily thing for them. It's always same thing he goes through every night. It's kind of like thinking in the brain, what are we doing tonight? The same thing we do every night. So he stretches, waits for everyone to get comfortable, and then waits a little bit longer. Finally, everyone kind of waits for that anticipation. Like everyone's like almost being like, all right, I'm just going to get up and go to bed. Moment. He clears his throat. All right. For this story, it is the ballad of Sir Reginald the Ridiculous. You may have heard of him. Maybe not. In the kingdom of Strayland, far to the south, there once lived a knight whose name was Sir Reginald the Ridiculous. Unlike his noble peers, Sir Reginald was known not for his bravery or his skill with the sword, but for his perchance for absurdity and his unwavering commitment to the art of tomfoolery. And he kind of looks at the boy that's commented yesterday, and he goes, just like some of those in our wagon company. The boy just kind of rolls his eyes and goes, yeah, whatever, Hilton. Hilton clears his throat again, and he goes, legend has it that Sir Reginald once challenged a fearsome dragon to a game of hopscotch instead of engaging in mortal combat. Another tale tells of how he infiltrated the castle of an evil sorcerer by disguising himself as a potted plant, and then singing bawdy tavern songs, if you'll believe the tales. Despite his unconventional methods, however, Sir Reginald always seemed to emerge victorious, much to the chagrin of his enemies and to the great amusement of his fellow knights. His exploits became the stuff of myth, celebrated in taverns and recounted in bardic ballads throughout the land. But perhaps Sir Reginald's most famous feat came on the eve of the kingdom's darkest hours, when an army of undead marched upon Strayland, with the intent on laying waste to all within their path. While the other knights prepared for battle, Sir Reginald donned a pair of oversized shoes and a rainbow-colored wig, and leading the charge with a battle cry of, "For merriment and mischief!" Much to the astonishment of all, the sight of Sir Reginald and his absurd armor struck fear of all things into the hearts of the undead horde, causing them to flee in terror. And as the sun rose that morning on a victorious Strayland, Sir Reginald stood atop a pile of defeated skeletons, his sword having long been since replaced by that of a rubber chicken. His laughter had echoed across the battlefield. And so, in the annals of history, Sir Reginald the Ridiculous has become known as not as a conventional hero, but as a champion of laughter and joy in a world shrouded in darkness, such as now. And the boy again goes, "So you're telling us we need to laugh when bandits come to rob us?" And Hilton just goes, "Oh, why do I bother with stories with you?" And they kind of go back into that same back and forth. Again, it seems to be a ritual thing they do.
I mean, we laughed at the bandits.
It's true, I did.
Hilton goes,
Then everything got really crazy, so.
"But you did laugh," Hilton says.
I did.
"This is why laughter is better than fighting."
The rubber chicken is a good idea, though. I'll have to keep an eye out for something like that.
Hilton goes, "Well, it was a magical rubber chicken of all things. How else could it have defeated an army of undead?" You can see there's a twinkle in his eyes. Pretty sure he's just lying out of his ass to, for the kid.
Maybe Severin might know?
Severin, you gonna ask him about the tale?
I am. Severin, are you weak to rubber chickens?
Why would I be linked to rubber chickens? This is the silliest thing I've ever heard.
Yes,
Keep your secrets
it is silly, but are you?
No! Why would you think that, Frederick? What is wrong with you? Are you
Well,
right in
it's
the
obvious
head?
he doesn't want us to know his weaknesses.
Well, I have had a few concussions lately, but
Here.
I don't know.
Severin
Maybe you would be
flies up
weak.
to you. And he goes, "You've had a couple of concussions. Here, have another one." And he tries to headbutt you.
I'm gonna try and dodge him.
Okay, we'll see if he can hit you first. It's just- he got a 10 to hit you.
Not gonna be enough.
Nope. He has a -5 because he's a floating head. Yeah, so he tries to headbutt you and you just kind of dodge away and he just kind of goes, "Ah! God damn it! Gods damn you!"
The gods do not damn me. I am favored by Muhammad. So you simply, fly away, down skull.
You just gotta shoo him away. Okay.
Just shoo him. I shoo him away, but only by using any other word than shoo.
Okay. Camilla, he kind of finally like hovers next to you and is like, Frederick's an ass. Why would he think that? It's like, doesn't he know I have feelings?
No.
There. I'm gonna just like kind of awkwardly
Okay.
pat him where I think his shoulder would be.
Okay, so he's like, so it's a log. He's like hovering like 3 inches off the log. So you guys you just pat the log next to him then? Because he's just a floating skull that's on fire, that's all.
Then I pat him like a pet, I guess.
Okay. After a moment, he just kind of like looks at you like he doesn't have eyes. He's just got like kind of like this holes like glowing in his eye sockets. You can see them kind of look over to you for a moment, and he turns his head and then just looks back at the fire. He doesn't have any like he's just a skull, so there's no facial expressions, but he just kind of like, I don't know, you get the impression he's reserved and being like, fine, fuck it, whatever.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Sovereign.
I mean, at this point, he likes Camilla. I mean, he got to spend time in the bag with her talking. Let's give him that.
Heck yeah.
All right,
I'm
well,
just gonna whisper to Branch, like,
Do you think, like, Sovereign is angry or something? Like, come on. I didn't know if he's weak to rubber ducks or not. How would I know?
I don't know if dead people are scared of anything. Wouldn't that make sense? Like, he's already died once. What else does he have to fear? Actually, he's died like twice now, right?
For all we know, maybe 3. But yeah,
How do we know if he was ever alive to begin with?
you make a fantastic point.
Thank you, Frederick. Finally, someone's listening to me.
Very, mind-opening, Branch. Mind-opening.
You should listen to what I have to say more often, Frederick. You might be
Truly,
surprised.
words worthy of Bahamut.
Do you have any rubber chickens on you, Frederick?
Unfortunately not. I would wish to try my hypotheses, but it remains to be seen.
I'll keep an eye out for any loose rubber chickens on our ventures.
this is so gonna come up at some random moment.
absolutely. All right. Well, if you guys don't have anything else to talk about, you guys can mark off another long rest.
All right.
You avoided
Thank you.
combat for the day. And with that, you guys awake the next morning. The merchants at this time say they're actually going to start heading, like the road is starting to lead further south towards the town. And they're actually going to take the road going north. So when they come to the split in the road, they're like, we're going to start heading northward Let me double check. I'm pretty sure they're heading towards Terran. Yes, they're gonna start heading north from where they are because this is the main road.
All right.
So they wish you guys well. You guys part ways, hopefully in a positive manner. Nobody's angry or upset at each other.
Very much so. I'm gonna shake everyone's hand. Give them all a little prayer of good luck. Very politely.
Okay. They all thank you. They accept your blessings and your well wishes. They wish the same of you. There is a god of travel. Let me pull it up real quick.
Oh God, if they mention their name, I'm going to have to debate with them.
No, so there's
Unless it's like a lawful god, then I'm gonna be like, okay.
no, so it's the god. It's a neutral god. So it's the god of fate, is what they're talking about. They which you'd be familiar with. People like when you want to wish somebody luck, you say, "May the blessing of Savaris be with you," which is what they say. It's just a friendly, I wish you well. I hope fate is on your side, kind of thing. It's not a detractor of them trying to, detract against your faith. They totally understand that you believe Bahamut, but they say that to you guys, may Savaris be with you, to wish you well. And you guys just part ways.
I'm gonna accept that, but I'm just gonna yell even louder, like, well, may Bahamut be with you.
And they nod and they go, oh, he will be. Don't worry. All right, Branch or Camilla or Calamities? Anything for you guys?
I'm just gonna wave.
Yeah, wave goodbye.
And safe travels.
And
Okay.
it's the free food.
Free food indeed.
And the stew. The stew was good.
I hope so. Made some friends along the road. Yeah. And you didn't have to get into combat or anything like that? Man, I must be doing something wrong.
And I got to bench, like,
Despite all
the
my
cart.
attempts.
Despite all your attempts. And you benched the wagon, you're right. You know what, Branch? You'll have combat eventually. You can fight stuff. Lots of stuff. All right.
It's okay, Branch. We can have a training session if you really want to hit something.
I mean, that could be dangerous with the two of you. Branch is really fast, and you're really strong.
Yeah, exactly. It would make
I'll
something.
just keep running.
Run circles around
And I'm
him.
just gonna run after you with my plate armor, and I'm just gonna get very tired until you just hit me.
Okay, I give up. You're like, God damn it. Damn right. Okay, well, moving on. Go ahead and somebody make one more survival check for me here.
Yes, sir. That is 23.
Okay. Plenty high. You guys find a campsite for the day or the night. It's got food, water, everything you'll need. It's definitely one of those same spots that you've seen, off the side of the road where people have camped here before. That kind of thing. You guys rest, no problems. Nobody bothers you. Nothing comes jumping out of the ground to try and attack you either. Sorry, Branch. And then the following morning, you guys wake early with the sun, pack up your stuff, and head to town. You know you will be there today. So a couple hours go by. I want everyone to go ahead and roll a perception check for me here.
That is 14.
That's also a 14.
It was a 10.
For once, we're not rolling 20s.
A
Right.
4.
14 was our
Right.
highest. What?
Maybe it's
Okay.
best we don't get into any combat then.
You guys got your high rolls out of the way. So maybe I should throw some combat at you.
Shit.
True enough.
No, I'm not that kind of
Wouldn't blame
DM. Just because you got the low rolls now. So you guys do not catch it until you guys are almost right on top of it. But as you guys kind of make your way down the road, it kind of follows the land more than it does anything else. It doesn't cut through the landscape, just kind of follows the natural contours of the land. And finally, you guys are kind of all just chit-chatting with each other, like, oh, that was really great, some stories, blah, blah, blah. And you almost bump into the back of a wagon, and a cart, or the person pulling, an oxen pulling the wagon, the guy in the cart kind of looks at you and goes, oh, the road's big enough for all of us. And you're like, oh, yeah, sorry. And you guys ride past him, but as you ride past him, you see finally in the distance, which you probably would have noticed if you had been paying better attention, you can see the rising walls of Coenimh come into view. And despite you guys being several miles away, you still can't help get this sense of relief that washes over you from seeing the town. I mean, you've been on the road for about just shy of a week now, about 7 days. You're like, oh, God, a warm bed, a good, hearty meal. Not that the meals you guys had were bad, but just being in the town and out of nature for the moment. And that keeps invading
By the
your
way,
thoughts.
I do have a question.
Mhm.
So now that I actually see the town, is it like very big town, or is it pretty small? Like you're saying walls, and I'm trying to imagine.
So there's about 16,000 people that live here.
Okay, so pretty big.
Yeah. I mean, Terran is maybe 25, 30,000. So this is about half the size, but Terran's a huge town compared to Lynn. And Doolin had about 15,000. So it's about the same size.
Okay.
So,
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It is actually even bigger, but I'll get to that in a second. So as you guys heel your horses forward into a trot, you quickly find yourselves arriving, not to the town's walls and the gates, but what you can not help but describe as being a makeshift shanty town that's a couple hundred feet, or at least a couple hundred feet from the walls. Stretching out to either side of the walls is a hodgepodge of wagons, carts, and carriages that are all intermingled with tents and pavilions, along with crude structures that look to have been hastily erected. Mingling amongst the throng are folks of all ages, from children that are barely old enough to be off their mother's apron strings to men and women who look to be 2 steps past death. As you pass by, you notice that no one looks in your directions. Everyone's eyes are downcast and they're lost in their own plights. And it is easy for each of you to see that every person here bears the weight of dejected hopelessness upon their shoulders. Glancing around, you can see that no one smiles. You don't even hear children laughing or crying. Even the sounds of the animals is muted, almost as if everything is just waiting to die. After you move about 300 feet beyond through the structures, you see that in front of you there's about 100-foot space between the edge of where the shanty town is and the actual town walls, that is completely devoid of anything. It's just bare ground. And as you guys pass over this empty ground, for a moment you all feel almost like there's magic that's either washing over you or perhaps leaving you. You're not really sure. And you don't have the chance to really assess the feeling that you get from it, as you all look up and you see 5 city guards marching towards you to meet up with you.
Well, I'm gonna greet them politely.
Okay. So they stop about 20 feet from you and they go, "Halt! Who are you?" What is your business here?
I'm gonna make a quick look to Palamides.
We're here to kill the entire
Ranch
city.
and Kamala. Yeah, sure. Of course we are. Now, I'm gonna make a quick look to all of you, see if, just from, like, eye contact, if anybody wants to talk.
I'm just gonna wiggle my eyebrows back at you.
Alright.
We are wandering travelers. We're just here to sell our goods to your wonderful town.
Very well. The guards kind of look at each other and he goes, well, one of them steps forward and he goes, as you can see, we have some refugees, as they like to call themselves, but not everyone is permitted within the town. There is a fee that you must pay. Each person. It is, oh my gosh, I'm trying to blank on the price. He says it's a 10 gold entry fee. He explains that this entry fee they provide you a crystal that gives you permission to enter the city in this time of need. And they say that, like, you can tell he's done this speech before. Like, you guys open your mouth and he goes, yes, I know it's expensive. The 10 gold helps pay for the defenses of the city should the city be attacked. No, we don't get to keep any of it. No, it's not for anything other than to help defend the city and against the war. No, it's not refundable if you leave. No, you cannot give your crystal to somebody else if you want. It is tied to your life force. If you want to enter the city, it is required. No exceptions. And he kind of just pauses. And he goes, well, do you want one or not?
Seems
I'll
simple enough.
trade you a fuzzy pink slipper for one of those things.
He kind of sighs. You can see he takes a deep breath and he goes, there are no exceptions or exchanges for it. You have to pay the 10 gold to get into the city. It gives you a crystal. It's once for individual for use, no one else. It's 10 gold, no exceptions.
Fine.
It is no worry, I'll pay his 10 gold if he doesn't want to.
That's okay, Frederick. I'll pay it.
Okay, so one of the guards steps forward and he kind of... two of the guards step forward. One of them holds out a hand. Like, you guys are on horseback, so they're not on horseback, so they hold up a hand to each of you. So go ahead and mark off 10 gold. As you pay them, the second man pulls out, like, he has a belt pouch. And he pulls out a crystal gem-looking item with an arcane rune etched on it. And I'll post a picture of it in the chat. And they are of various colors, but they are made of crystal. But he says something, like he mumbles something, and then places the gem or the crystal into your hand. And after a moment, it pulses, and you feel this warmth wash over you. And as long as you are holding the crystal, it just pulses a faint color.
Right. As I hand over the gold, I'm just gonna say, for the Empire!
You nod and go, for the Empire. So after you guys pay your 10 gold, what are you guys doing with Severin? Did you guys have him hide out in the bag?
Most definitely yes.
Okay.
Unless he had some kind of tantrum, which I would have tried to quell.
He definitely would have thrown a hissy fit, but you guys left town before, and he's starting to realize, I need to hide out sometimes. So he would have thrown a hissy fit, but it'd have been like a child throwing a temper tantrum of, I don't want to, and then does it anyways.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just, like, let's say, going back time a little, I will promise him that he'll be free to fly everywhere he wants to in our room at any inn we stop by.
Okay.
Does Severin get hungry?
He does not, no.
Does he like
That
to
makes sense.
taste food still?
He doesn't have a tongue, so he can't taste anything.
Mm.
I would say you guys would definitely have tried to feed him, and it would just go through his, like, the bottom of his jaw, and he'd be like, his mouth would open and close, but he's like, I don't taste anything.
I would have still asked him if he were all right, like feeling anything bad about it or anything.
I mean, he definitely would have pouted about it and been like, "This sucks." And he probably would have fine. I really am dead. But I mean, that's
And
about
I
it.
would have been like, I hear you, it sucks, buddy. And that's about it.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to tell exactly how he's feeling because again, he doesn't have a face. There's no way to read his emotions really, other than maybe the fire, the flames around him. But you guys haven't been with him long enough to be able to read any kind of emotion off of him with that.
I would have still said that out of guess of like how much it does suck.
Okay, yeah, that's totally fine. All right, well, and after you guys pay, you guys can make your way into town. Welcome to Coenimh. Or Coenimh for it there.
All right. So, just to give us an idea, how early or late are we entering town?
Right now it is roughly, I would say maybe 1 o'clock. So I just put the map in the chat. So you guys are kind of arriving from the southeast.
Okay.
So I mean the town again it's huge. It's got 16,000 people in it. It's plenty big. You with the estimation of the shanty towns, you probably assume there's maybe an extra 8,000 people, so that the town's probably got close to, and it's in or around it, almost 25,000 people.
Well, Frederick is going to ask everyone. Well, I understand we are at the middle of the day. Would you like to find an end to rest our legs, or would you rather start our mission?
Well, we got daylight to burn. I figure we should probably get a little bit of work in.
I would agree. However, Camilla Branch, if you need some rest, well, it is very understandable.
I don't want rest.
I guess we can get started.
What is rest?
I can always take a cat nap somewhere along the way. That's fine.
I'm very
Please,
butthurt about
Branch.
losing the 10 gold.
It's been enough. I mean, 15 times that you have taken cat naps on streets and whatnot. Please do not again. I know it won't get to you. But please. I beg you.
You heard the man, Branch. Please.
No.
That's such a good answer. Just no.
Yeah, can't argue with that. Sorry, Friedrich.
Fine.
I mean, I did expect that answer, so
You tried.
nah. I tried, and at worst, we'll just leave him in the middle of the streets. He'll figure it out.
All right. And figure it out as you go. Well then, since you guys are not going to look for an inn or any place to stay, you guys do notice two things right off the bat. After you pass through the gates, it is a completely different vibe than it was from the shanty towns. People are lively. They are like happy. There's definitely a sense of prosperity going on around here, despite everything. Despite the empire being at war with itself, people are going about their day. There are people sitting around or standing around, chit-chatting with each other. Merchants are hawking their wares. People are just going about life as if nothing is different. There's definitely no like sense of like what is the word? There's no sense of hopelessness in the air. It's almost quite the opposite
Right.
for it. But the town is alive. People are here. The other thing that you notice is there's not very many civil guard, not as many as you would expect. They are still present. You see them as you walk around. But you would estimate with a town this big that you'd probably see maybe a few more than you have. Instead of maybe being on every other street corner, you see them, every fifth street corner for whatever reason.
Oh.
The other thing you do notice is that everyone seems to have that you see has a crystal. Many people have it
Right.
either as a necklace or they kind of fiddle with it maybe here or there, but everybody seems to have one. If you guys are going to look for where to go, do you remember what you're looking for?
We are looking for a particular somebody. I don't know if y'all remember.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
Branch can't even remember what he ate for lunch.
I write that name down.
Maybe Branch needs the reminder.
We're not looking for any hags, that's for sure.
No
Indeed.
hags.
No hags, only heretics, as
Only
Frederick would
heretics.
say it.
Frederick, I don't remember which heretic's here though.
They're all heretics.
I mean, that's true. We're gonna beat him up either way.
All right, I'll give you guys the reminder.
Yeah.
So you
Arms
guys,
in a bag.
you guys are looking for Cole, Kol. The notes in every document you have say that he's protecting the treasure or whatever it is for the ritual is in a cemetery.
Cemetery.
Ah.
That
Let's
sounds awfully similar
say-
to the very first place where we found the information.
Yeah, pretty close. So I'm guessing some kind of god of death or something like that. Anyways, speaking of cemeteries, if my character with their medium intelligence were to like approximate the number of cemeteries in the town, how many cemeteries are there?
So you wouldn't I would give this to any of you guys. You guys have been in towns enough to have a general feel. So for a town this size, there's probably maybe a half dozen decent sized cemeteries. There's probably going to be a couple of small ones here or there with maybe 5 or 6 people, if that.
Gotcha.
But there are going to be maybe 1, maybe 2 at most. That are going to be large scale cemeteries that are going to have hundreds of people interred there, if not more, if not thousands.
All right.
One thing also that you guys are aware of is that not all cemeteries are cemeteries aren't bad places to visit. People go there to say well wishes to their lost ones, their loved ones. It turns into parks, and sometimes there's trees, there are benches. People go there just to enjoy being outside and kind of reconnect.
Basically, like IRL.
Yeah, that's how cemeteries were way back when. It's only nowadays that we consider cemeteries to be like, oh, we can't go there. It's very taboo.
Really?
Yeah, that
That's
doesn't
the
really happen
opposite
around here.
in my in
Just
my
saying,
own
I don't go 'cause
experience.
I don't have anybody to visit. But if I see somebody in a cemetery, I'm just like, oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I live
Different
like
pickles.
3 minutes away from a cemetery by walk. And I have been for like the last 16 years, I think.
If I only know there's a very large cemetery in Indianapolis that people just kind of
And
go to walk.
it's a
It's
large
ridiculous.
cemetery, but like most of it is a park.
Yeah.
So a lot of people visit all the time, and also a lot of people not only visit to see their loved ones, but just walk around because it's actually a nice forest.
Nice.
Dang.
Yeah, here in
I'll be the one to say that that's weird.
Yeah,
that's
here-
that's not how it is around here.
nope, here in the States, it's cemeteries are off by themselves. They're kind of big open plots of land, no trees or very much, and it's
Oh dang.
Speak on your own states.
yeah, I guess
no,
every state's different, but yeah.
We've
You
got like
coastal
a lot of
weirdos.
like gravel paths and everything. It's mostly where people walk their dogs or
Mm.
just have chats, like anything.
Yeah, definitely
Like,
different by
it's-
state and location, and
You have a lot of graves and everything, but like it's still very nice looking and everything.
Yeah, honestly, we've got a few cemeteries around Lafayette and Indy or whatever that are nicer places to walk than a lot of other places around town.
Yeah. Well,
they usually
so
have some
Frederick,
kind of
that is the place that
trees.
you are looking for here. You are well aware that
All right.
cemeteries are like that.
Okay.
Okay, so then we can just ask around.
Good to know.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to ask around, like, so, Frederick, so the last time you guys went to the cemetery before, it was a park. It was where you guys went. You guys found
we only had to bust in because it was like middle of the night.
yeah. You guys stayed during
Yeah.
the day and you guys saw them, but then you guys hung out in the
Right,
park,
yeah.
and then at night, and they closed it up. You guys stayed. So it'd be the same kind of thing here. So if you want to ask around, I would say make an investigation check. It's not going to be very hard. You just have to beat a 10.
All right. I mean, I'm going to ask around, so
Okay.
that's a nat 20.
That's
Ah,
not nat 20.
okay. You guys hear
Oh my
immediately.
god.
Jesus. Stop rolling
I'm
so
sorry.
damn high.
We're all just like, hey, has anybody
My
noticed
ink
the
log.
trail
Dang it, I was
left
so close
behind
to a
by
nat
the,
20.
by the fermions?
You guys are all rolling so high, and it hurts my soul. It hurts my soul.
I'll take
So
it
you
when I
know,
can get it.
like demon worshippers, you know, demons that sort of like gold, you know.
Squints really hard. Have you seen anybody that looks like and just picture perfect describes the name we're looking for?
Well, so if you guys describe Cole, which you guys, the note said Birdman, you guys have seen him before. He is kind of
Yeah,
look,
Birdman.
like, creepy
Oh, is he the guy with the bird?
with the bird. Yep.
Okay.
You do like with those rolls. You guys ask, like, people are like, "Oh yeah, the cemetery's over there. You can park," and they give you directions. Like, no problem. On the map, it's in the Hearts district, which is the southern part of the town.
All right.
I thought it was
So,
GTA,
do we
so it was like
manage
fitting.
to find the cemetery like itself, or
Yeah.
do we only know which part of the map it is?
No, so you guys find out exactly where it is. You guys get directions, no problems.
Oh, dang.
I'm just
All
saying that where it is on the map, because I'm not going to give you like, oh, it's in this specific corner or quadrant of the map. It's just in that area. The name of the cemetery is called Twin Oaks Cemetery. And you learn that the reason it's called that is that when it was originally, hundreds of years ago when it was built, there were two massive oak trees. And the cemetery just kind of built up around it. The oak trees have long since been torn down, but the name has stuck. So they kind of give you a little bit of history on it. On those rolls, though, as you guys get to the cemetery, you do hear like, oh, we're looking, like you mentioned, oh, this weird shadowy looking person. And you do hear reports. People are like, oh yeah, the other night I was by and there was this weird, like freaking creepy bird that just kind of sat on a branch and cawed at me. I thought it was a raven. Another person's like, no, it was a crow. No, it was a hawk. No, it couldn't have been that. They kind of just described this very large, shadowy bird that just watches them and then flies over their head and disappears in shadows. So they described the bird. They described that there is also usually a man around the same time that wanders the grounds with a hood up, dressed in all black. Nobody seems to know where he comes from or where he goes. They just see him walking the paths, and then he's gone. They turn around, and he's gone.
Right.
But you're definitely, the vibe you're getting, you're in the right spot, 100%.
All right. How much time does it take us to get like that information?
A couple hours. I mean, you guys go from like the southeast gate to asking those questions, getting there, and searching. Like you guys just kind of
right.
We're here at the cemetery, but the cemetery is huge in terms of like acreage. It's probably like 100 acres. It's a lot of land.
Is Winnie the Pooh here?
He might be. He might be buried underneath. But now I'm gonna throw a bear at
100
you
acre
guys in
Twin Oaks.
combat somewhere.
Hell
Name him
no.
Pooh.
Not Pooh from the
No.
horror movie.
I mean,
when all else
as
fails, you
long
can
as
blame
we
Camilla
have
for
honey, we can like crowd control him.
it. Maybe that'll be
Just
his
like-
one aversion. You offered me honey. Ah!
We just put like a huge pot of honey and like he's crowd controlled for like 6 turns.
Maybe not. Maybe he'll just be a golden colored bugbear. How's that?
No.
All right. Well, there are any other
But yeah,
questions
all right.
at the
So
moment?
we found the cemetery. It took us a while, so we're probably evening now, aren't we?
You're getting close to it. Yeah, so it's about 6 o'clock in the afternoon, evening. I mean, evening, I guess, but it's still
Alright.
bright out. It's spring, summertime, so it doesn't get super dark very early.
Well, I would like to ask y'all if you want to take a break and get some rest before we face whatever we're gonna face, or
suppose we could
jump
do that.
straight into it.
I don't know about everybody else, but I'm feeling fully rested.
You know, it's funny, I've only been sleeping in a sleeping bag, but I'm feeling pretty rested too.
I'm feeling much more lighter and energetic ever since the guard took that 10 gold from me. So yeah, I say we continue on.
Okay. All right. Well, the search and finding Cole, along with dealing with him, will take time. So we're gonna go ahead and stop there, and then when we pick
All
up,
right.
we'll pick up here with the search for Cole. You guys are very close. He's nearby.
This motherfucker
Alright.
and his goddamn bird.